Hey, this is Bitcoin Rice. This is the channel where we talk about Bitcoin and other things surrounding the cryptocurrency space. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and do hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing drops. Because as I've said before in previous videos, I only do drops when there's things going on in space I really want you guys to know about. And boy, there's a lot going on today. So, if you haven't heard, it's all in the news. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's preparing for the Fed is about to drop the data for the inflation numbers of March, and everyone thinks they're going to be like some crazy numbers. The number I'm seeing being thrown around is like 8.5, which is still a pretty good jump from the 7.9 that was reported for February. Remember, the numbers that we saw, the 7.9 that had everybody going psycho, those are from February. So everything that's happening over with Ukraine and Russia, those numbers haven't even been factored into all this yet. But now we're probably about to see the effects of the fuel spikes and all that stuff. So it's just gonna be interesting going forward, man. Like I said, once these numbers drop, you're already starting to see, sell-offs preparing for this, because when there's fear of recession, they don't wait till it actually happens. They start selling off their most risky assets, their most speculative assets, which includes crypto, Bitcoin. So that's why we're seeing actually this drop. Not like a crash or anything. I wouldn't call it that, at least yet, but we're definitely seeing a drop in the price. We dropped as low as 39K. From that, about that 45,000, 42, between 42 $45,000 level of support. So we dropped down to 39, and I believe we bounced back. At the time of making this video, I believe we're actually back at 40K. So it looks like 40K is going to be that new level of resistance, at least until the data is released for these inflation numbers. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we get double-digit inflation numbers. If they report something like 10%, I pray that that doesn't happen, because that is going to cause a ripple effect like none other in all of the markets globally. If they come out with numbers like that. But honestly, like we've discussed before, that's really probably what the inflation numbers truly are. As you know, when we talked about before, they fudge the numbers a lot when it comes to reporting inflation. The CPI is some BS, man. They only factor in, and then they move and rotate things to make the numbers not look as bad or to make them look better. So it's going to be crazy, man, when this data is released today. We all thought that it was already priced in, but seems like the Fed is getting a little more aggressive, or I should say a lot more aggressive, obviously, trying to get a hold of inflation. So if these numbers come out and they're looking crazy, expect them to be more aggressive, more hawkish as far as spiking these interest rates and other methods of trying to get a hold of this inflation, because it's going out of control, man. It's not just the U.S., Europe. Like I saw Egypt, Turkey, just everywhere, man. They're feeling effects of shortages, chain supply issues. The economy isn't in a great place right now, but that is why Bitcoin was created. Like, it's the greatest hedge against inflation. This is the escape rope. And again, like I said before, this is not financial advice, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw, like, okay, Terra Luna, MicroStrategy, all these other whales, they have not stopped accumulating Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised. Well, there's two ways this could go, because it seems like they use the same strategies over in Wall Street that they use in here. And in our market, including this year and last year, there's a lot of new people who still don't truly understand Bitcoin. I'm talking about the fundamentals, the use case, how it can be used as a currency, how it's property. Some people still don't understand that Bitcoin is property. So, but Biden signing off on that executive order gave the green light to everybody. They are accumulating and they are holding long term, guys. Don't be fooled by the craziness going on in the world that's making an economic impact globally. They are still buying Bitcoin. They have not stopped, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are buying more with this dip. So I just ask you and urge you to be smart, play it smart, buy the dips. Don't panic sell. I know it's a lot of new people. Was like 50% of the market is new. Like new wallets, I believe, is what the data shows. So just don't panic sell. Play it smart. Watch what the big money does with as far as accumulating and buying Bitcoin. I haven't seen any whales selling off crazy amounts of Bitcoin with talks of a recession coming. And the way this looks, I think we are heading in that direction towards a recession, because I don't see the Fed stepping in and like stopping it from happening. Like, their full focus right now is inflation, getting a hold of inflation, which And they're calling it they're saying Putin's price hikes, talking about he spiked the price of fuel. That inflation was already high and it was already heading in a direction where it was rising before Russia invaded Ukraine. So them trying to put that on that is some BS, man. The inflation was already out of control. You know, you're talking about price hikes by Putin, but what about that 1.9 trillion you guys just pumped into the market? Like, as far as giving people that stimulus at 1,400, you don't think that has anything to do with it? But so things probably are going to get crazy, guys. There's a lot of fear in all the markets. I just ask you though, the fundamentals have not changed for Bitcoin. Okay, it's still the greatest hedge against inflation. I wouldn't be surprised if central banks and all these other businesses looked towards Bitcoin as a way out, as a way to escape the wrath of inflation. But we're going to see, man. It's everything's going to be really dependent upon how bad it's. I mean, it's all bad right now, but how bad they drop these numbers as far as inflation. If it's double-digit numbers, I mean, we may see more of a decrease in price in our market as well, or we may see everyone flee to our markets and store their wealth in Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation from what the Fed is doing by spiking these interest rates and all this craziness. So it's going to be interesting to see today how it goes. I'm going to keep my ears to the ground, eyes open. You guys stay safe out there. I'll hit you up later.